Parliament's Human Resource and Social Development Committee has met to hear submissions on a private member's motion to legalize abortion. West Rural St. Andrew Member of Parliament Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn tabled the motion last year. Retired consultant surgeon Dr. Charles Royce argued that legalizing abortion will send the wrong message.
It will likely increase the number of abortions done with their attendant consequences. It will place an increased burden on our healthcare system and call on taxpayers to finance it, even though many of those taxpayers may strongly object to the practice.
Now, committee member Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn had questions.
On that particular method?
I do not advise or encourage abortion, but I am recognizing that the increased use of this method is to a large extent replacing the much more dangerous backstreet abortions, is what we are calling it, and that this method, when it is used, is safe. So
would you then want to possibly, with the Pregnancy Resource Center, with the counseling and all the advice and support, would you then possibly think that would be a good idea to have these types of pills? Because I know that they do sell them on the streets, and I think they sell them for about $10,000. Would it be a suggestion then to maybe have these types of pills possibly in our clinics free of charge to women?
No, ma'am, I would say not at all, because there is a big difference, you see, between the state, between abortions being done under the auspices of the state, which would be the case if those pregnancy resource centers provided those pills. We would be helping patients to have it under the auspices of our country.
So it is clear that some churches and some other private sector groups remain grounded in the fight against abortion. But what's not clear is the decision that Parliament will make. Now, to discuss that decision a little more, we are joined on the phone by the West Rural St. Andrew Member of Parliament, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, as well as Reverend Alvin Bailey. He's chairman of Jamaica Cause. It's an organization that has been mobilizing on this issue. First, I would like to invite the MP to explain why this motion at this time.
Good evening to you. Why this motion at this time? I think it is quite clear and evident that abortion is still happening in Jamaica. We've seen the reports. We know the numbers. Some may say it's 6,000. I think that's what the doctor said today. Some say it's 22,000 that is being seen at Victoria Jubilee, possibly on an annual basis. So there's already a strain on our healthcare system with women who are coming in from botched abortion procedures. So I thought it would only be fair to actually bring this matter again to the public space so that we can debate it and see where we go from here. Because, as I said, abortion is happening. It's here. It's happening in Jamaica. What do we do about it? Do we continue to make it illegal, even though persons are seeking it illegally? The penalty is life imprisonment for women who actually seek abortion or have an abortion. That is the penalty. And yes, there is a stigma, plus or as far as our cultural beliefs, that has negative effect on the women seeking abortion. And
let me bring in Reverend Bailey here. What about that argument offends you?
Well, we're not talking about spraying insects here. We're talking about terminating or butchering the life of the unborn child. It should not be spoken about with such level of flippancy and looseness. We are talking about...
What's flippant and loose about
No,
that?
No, the sense in which we want to legalize abortion, which has implications for terminating the life or butchering the life of a child from conception, even before birth. And that, for me, the ease and even debate on the matter of terminating a life for us, we consider very repulsive. We're talking about the life of a person, and that's not an option.
Let's address, though, head-on some of the arguments being raised there by the MP. She says there's a large number of botched abortions, and there's a large market for illegal abortions? How would those be addressed?
The answer to irresponsible killing is not more irresponsible killing or more killing for that matter. The social spring-off of abortion are the primary concerns, and I feel that we can consider options to address the consequences of...
Which is my question,
yes,
like what?
Well, social intervention, counseling, and the care for the unborn person. And I know that the options of talking about abortion when there is rape and incest, and we are saying that the person who has suffered such gruesome act at the hands of someone else need care, need counseling, rather than complicating matters by taking the life of an unborn child.
So when you talk about social intervention and counseling,
yes,
given the challenges in other sectors of society, you're satisfied that that would work?
Well, I do not know that there's an option to the matter. We cannot address this matter by terminating the child to make it easier for us to deal with the social spring-offs of somebody having a pregnancy or because of the social condition or somebody suffering as a result of abortion. It is just absolutely not a consideration to terminate the life of a child.
Mrs. Cuthbert-Flynn, two arguments being raised there. One about social intervention and counseling. Do you consider those to be adequate as alternatives?
Well, I think it's an alternative. I think it will help. And I was very happy to see the force that the church came out today and leading up to this. I would love for the church or other groups to actually galvanize themselves and possibly do something about this. One of the things that the doctor spoke about today was possibly a pregnancy resource center. If we could have that as a policy going forward, whether we link that with our clinics, etc., so that women can actually have the option to get counseling, to get advice, if it is that they're raped, if it is that they're pregnant and not know what to do, that they have somewhere to go. Yes, another one of the presenters today spoke, I think she's from Montego Bay, spoke about a place that she may have for women in these positions, but do we have enough? What is it that the church is doing or these groups are doing to really, abortion has been happening, you know, and it's just that I brought this motion forward and now we're hearing it more and persons are protesting. But what is it that was being done in the interim in all these years to say, let us prevent this? We know that it's happening because it's not just because of my motion that we know that this is happening in Jamaica.
So, Reverend, address that question.
What I would love to see is a combination of things. So this is why I'm very happy for this debate to see where we go from here and not just nothing happens like the last time about 10 years ago.
Well,
so address that issue.
Things are happening. In fact, for a number of years, the church has been intervening with counseling and establishing centers, though not enough, to address the matter. And I'm happy to know that Ms. Cuthbert-Flint is thinking that there are options in the form of social intervention. And also, she opposes abortion being done in the third trimester. There's no difference between first, second, or third trimester because it's a termination of a life. The church is intervening, but like all our social conditions, it is a lot. But the church is doing a lot of counseling. We have establishing homes, and in our own all our churches, there are social programs that address the person who is the victim.
I'm being told to wrap, but I want to ask one question.
Sure.
One of the controversial points has surrounded the question of whether abortion should be allowed in instances in which a mother's life is in danger. What's the position of Jamaica Cause on that issue?
We have been reliably informed that that is not an abortion. What has always been the position is that the child is delivered and often the support system of the child cannot keep it and it often dies. But it is not really intent, and as it is now where...
No, I'm not talking about an instance in which the child dies. I'm talking about an instance in which abortion has to be induced because of the risk to the mother.
And I'm saying to you that my medical advisors do not consider that to be an abortion.
So you would have no issue there?
We have no issue there. We have no issue in the sense that it is not a deliberate effort to terminate the life of a child for whatever purpose the mother thinks is socially or whatever acceptable.
All right, just 20 seconds for you, MP.
We can make this very pretty and sounds good, but if a woman at 6 or 7 weeks finds out she's pregnant and she has some sort of an illness, and the doctor said it's either you're going to die, both of you will die, this child cannot live. As you said, the fetus cannot survive without the mother at that stage, or even 12 weeks, cannot survive without the mother at that stage. It is still an abortion. It doesn't matter what the doctor said and how we look at it, it's still considered an abortion. The child cannot survive without the mother.
And that certainly would be a bit of a change from where the church has been before.
Right.
But
And
I
so
think
you
we're...
can't- So it doesn't matter. It is still abortion, and do we then preserve the life of the mother? And even though they say it's a small percentage that where this happens, but do we preserve the life of the mother, or we just allow both today?
All right, thank you very much. The last word there from the MP for West Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn. And thank you for joining us as well, Reverend Alvin Bailey. He's the chairman of Jamaica Cause. And we take a break now.